So I want to bring up a couple of tweets here from Brian Tamaki. Brian Tamaki retweeted this out, I think it was today, and it's Marine Le Pen.
Marine Le Pen.
Marine Le Pen, I will save France from the New World Order. Macron will be arrested. Now, I looked up Marine Le Pen, and the party she belongs to or belonged to
right?
was basically the National Front, rebranding itself. Couldn't get much more far right. We could, but anyway. Brian Tamaki says, now that's what you say, Chris Luxon, when you become a prime minister. Get out of globalization. Jacinda Ardern will be arrested. So Brian Tamaki, a so-called Christian leader, I say so-called because I don't see much of those teachings in his life, but a so-called Christian leader, tweeting out far-right ideology. And we're not talking about, how sometimes people go, oh, you're on the far right, and they're just conservative, but actual far right. And then I think on the same day, it's New Zealand's, this is from Brian Tamaki, New Zealand's term, the fed up fight from the right. Right has had enough of wrong. And this is what the comment that he's written. Globally, we see the far right taking back everything that is wrong in their countries. France, Belgium, Austria, and Germany have all had massive swings back to the right in political elections this past week. We need to take notice of this. Now, I want to read through a couple of the things that he says about patriots. He basically says the rise of nationalists is a good thing. Nationalists are patriots. And he goes on, here's one of the things, if you want to get a dog whistle, this is one of the patriots who want to take New Zealand back. He says, Kiwis are fed up with immigration taking over our country. I mean, he's not just tweeting out other people's far right stuff. This is far right stuff. This is
absolutely.
This is absolutely talking about media manipulation, yada yada yada. Now, and then he's got a little pitch down here as well. I think, okay, look, that's a real rant. I'm talking about exposing all the public agencies and all that kind of stuff. It's New Zealand's term, the fed up fight from the right. This is what he's talking about, right? So he's, on one hand, he's retweeting. And I'm actually saying that he's brainwashed because he's retweeting far-right ideologies. Yep. And then he's putting out his own far-right ideologies, whilst he also says this kind of thing about Israel. My and New Zealand's support is unwavering for Israel. Now, the reason I say he's brainwashed is, Chewy, do you want to educate New Zealanders as to what the far-right historically have done to the people of Israel? To the Jewish community? Where does the Jewish community typically sit in the far right ideology? So he's supporting the far right ideology. He's speaking out the far right ideology, and he's 100%, he's 200% supportive of the Jewish world. Chewy, can you see a juxtaposition there that you could explain to us?
Yeah, I can certainly see a pathway that many far-right groups that usually, anti-Jew, pro-Israel is a thing, which is baffling. Like, I just want to talk to that post that Brian's put out as someone that has tried his best to combat fascism in New Zealand for decades now.
Yeah.
To see something from someone like him to the following that he has makes my blood run cold. He is a fringe group. He is tweeting out far right fascist ideology. And some people might get it really confused. That he's like, but if it can't be fascist if it's pro-Israel. Israel is fascist. What this has come from is anti-Islam, first and foremost. And from his evangelical side, there's the fact that Israel needs to set off the rapture or the end of days or whatever his particular brand of Christianity is hoping for. It's hopelessly fucked. It's all tied up in knots. He will, and we saw this with the anti-COVID stuff as well. These groups will happily ally with people that would detest them otherwise. You'll
enemy
have
of my
white
enemy is my
national,
friend.
yep, you'll have white nationalist skinheads marching side by side with the brown faces of destiny quite happily, because in this particular instance they're allied against the same thing.